So the argument is he turns into it. Yeah, he did turn, but he has the right to turn that way. Here's where the video is really crappy. I don't know if the guy's talking or whatever. But, dude, I mean, come on. This is straight into the player's numbers and then pushing his head right into the boards there. How do you justify rolling this back to a 2-minute minor penalty? I mean, do you think I'm wrong? Do you think this should have stayed 5?
Okay. From what we've seen this year, that's a 2-minute penalty all day long. For the definition of the 5-minute major, that should have been a 5-minute major. But what we've seen with the officiating this year, that's 2 minutes all day.
Late night lobbies, headset scream, chasing winds on a glowing screen, then it's back to the eyes, blue line tie, cooch with the vision, point takes flight, Vassy stone cold, crease on lock, thunder rolls every time we talk, from power plays to playoff runs, same damn city, same damn drum, say it loud if you bleed blue, we the Thunder.
Welcome to We the Thunder. I'm Rob Shooter, my friends call me Shooter. You can too. I'm here with Thomas Schooley on location. It's like a News 9 special right here. Thomas Schooley, we call him the professor. Maybe just I call him the professor.
Look at this guy. Classy. Classy fella.
Classy fellow. Where are you, Thomas Schooley? Why are you in front of Benchmark International Arena?
Well, I'm at Benchmark International Arena because they just did the live taping of the last block party of the season.
Your favorite podcast?
Cigar City.
Podcast?
Cigar City with hosts Greg Wolf and Braden Coburn. And the guest today was Schooley Perry, the Worm. It was pretty good. He tells you this will be released next Wednesday. Usually every Wednesday a block party is released. Today they had some scheduling conflicts, so they did not tape the one that was supposed to be released today, but it ended up they taped Sabaron today with a third co-host, Mr. Big Rig, Pat Maroon.
Oh, did they
and they will that one will be released tomorrow, and then next Wednesday you will be able to see the Corey Perry one.
Cool.
But
I want to ask you more about that. But first, let's tease a little bit about the next hour or so of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Corey Perry because he's actually been playing really well the last week. And by the way, if this is your first time here, we stream on the Coastal Sports Digital Network. Thank you, Angel, for the ability to do that. We are a Tampa Bay Lightning fan podcast. We have no affiliation with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I legally have to say that. Just kidding. but what we do is we break down the Lightning hockey season week by week. And by the time you get to April 1st, gosh, it gets old doing this. But don't worry, because in a couple weeks we go into playoff mode, and that will be really interesting this season because hopefully we'll make it past the first round. And we go live after every playoff game, and we're going to have some surprises for you because it's going to be a little bit different of an off season. So the longer we go, the more interesting it's going to get. So this week, what we want to talk about is some of these players that have been on fire. The team is playing really well despite the loss last night. But we want to talk about Jake Guentzel. We want to talk about the Worm playing well, but also the Lightning first periods have been awful. So try to figure out why the Lightning keep falling behind, because that's not a formula to win in the playoffs. And then we've got some news with the team. We got some news with former players or coaches I want to talk about. And then I've got a shooter game just for you. It's a leftover. Schooley. We had to squeak it in because it's kind of relevant to like what happened 2 months ago at this point. So got to get it in. We got to get it in. So a full hour of fun stuff for you. And I do want to ask about Corey Perry and some of the stuff that he talked about. So spoilers coming ahead if you do want to hold your ears until next week when that block party does come out. You'll want to do that in a second. But I do have a question to put out there in the chat. I'll leave it on the screen for a little bit. As we get ready for the playoffs here in roughly 2.5 weeks, what team do you want to see the Lightning play first round? So don't answer it yet, Schooley. We'll get to that. I want to get some people in the chat in their opinion on that, but and we'll take a look at what the playoffs looks like if it started today. So answer that if you're out there in the chat. Let us know. But Corey Perry on the block party. What was it? You were going to ask me a question. What was that question?
They asked him who was the best chirper that he has played against. Who do you think was the best chirper? Now, he's played forever. He's played against almost everybody there is. I can tell you this person still plays in the league.
Oh, okay. My first guess was going to be Pat Maroon.
Yeah, nope.
But he's disqualified. Still plays in the league. Is it someone that I would think of immediately? Like they are that person, that guy?
Yep.
Let's see, I can't answer them.
And I can tell you this person does it the most. Well, let's... Huh?
Brad Marchand.
There you go.
See? Listen, we get a lot of people that talk smack about, like, you guys don't know hockey. Like, but bring any question you want to the table. I just picked one guy out of thousands of players that Corey Perry's played. That's kind of an easy one. Marchand's like a...
Well, here was the other question that our Sticks of Fire friends, Joyce, Debbie, and Tony asked was, if a zombie apocalypse happened right now, who would survive it on the Bolts?
Who would survive a zombie apocalypse on the Bolts? I would go with... I don't know. For some reason, I want to say Hedman.
They did bring Hetty's name into it. He was not his first pick.
On the Bolts roster today, Hagel?
No, he said he would be gone immediately. Him and Cirelli and Paul, they would all be gone. You're on the right direction with Hedman.
Eric Chernak.
Nope.
McDonough.
There you go. McDonough.
Yeah.
He said McDonough and him. I yelled out, Pointer would still be asleep during it.
Yeah. He'd oversleep.
Yeah. He'd be like, what the hell happened? So it was good. Corey Perry was really good in all he wants to play. By the way, he is coming back next season, whether or not it's with the Bolts. He always says he determines the season before if he is playing next season. Greg Wolf informed him tonight he's actually 20 games away from tying Wayne Gretzky for most career games played.
Oh, wow.
So next season he will pass that because he did say today that he is playing next season. So
even if he wins a cup?
Even if he wins a cup. But that is his biggest thing, is he wants his son. We saw some interviews and something about it before, and he says that that's what he wants, his son. His son has been in the building for the last 3-4 years and has got to see the cup, but he said his son has never got to touch the cup, and he wants his son to be able to touch the cup.
Well, hopefully we break the curse. We know it's possible. Corey Perry won the Stanley Cup with Ducks, so.
But
awesome.
Think about this. You've touched the cup, right?
No.
No?
No, I stayed away from it.
Oh, well, I've touched the cup, but Corey Perry's son has not touched the cup.
Why would he? He's probably only like 6 years old or something, 7.
Yeah, I think he said he's 8 or 9. Yeah.
Corey Perry keeps losing the Stanley Cup
Yeah,
Finals.
but you would
He's
think
not
he would
going near
still, you
it.
know, it travels every year. You know, it's got to be in the building. He's played so many teams. It's got to be in the building one time when he's at this team. I mean, it's just like, holy crap. Like,
I wonder if he's like been in the same room with it, and Corey Perry dad's like, don't you dare touch that. You're grounded if you touch that cup.
by the way, unfortunately, he is called the Little Worm
Oh,
because of
Jesus.
his dad.
It's also called in certain circles.
It's funny because I had a little inside joke when they asked him how he got that nickname, and I was like, "Oh no!" But I think he said it was Bertuzzi that gave it to him. Said he just plays like a worm.
It's crazy how long he's been playing.
Yeah.
So
He talked about playing with Pronger. I was like, "Holy cow!"
Yeah. So news today, we brought up Brandon Hagel, but Hagel did not practice today, and basically it sounds like he's pretty doubtful to play tomorrow against the Penguins. I think there was somebody else that was out too. Sovereign, actually. I think he was. So those guys aren't practicing. Not looking good for them to play tomorrow. I didn't notice anything happening to Hagel last night. Did you see him get injured?
No, I didn't see anything that would stand up why he would be injured. You know, maybe a sickness that's going around the locker room. If so, get it over with now.
Sure.
But I have not seen anything that would indicate, and I'm checking, of course, Lightning Insider, Eric Erelson, and Benjamin to see if either one of them have said anything what they think it could be, but I haven't seen anything.
Yep. Well, we saw some guys out, Paul and Kucherov out on Saturday, and Kuch was out on Sunday too with illness. So maybe the flu bug or something's going around. But yeah, you're right. If you're going to get the flu, like, let's all get that herd immunity going now before the playoffs.
Of course, everybody was like, Eric, you better say April Fools after this. You better say April Fools after this. And April Fools did not show up after that. So it looks like, and the different comments look like most people are leaning towards him being sick again.
I hope so. I guess that could be it. We wouldn't have noticed that in the game, right? I thought after watching some of the games this weekend, I thought Point might be sick too. Not that he was playing horrible, but he seemed like not himself. Not that he was playing bad, but it just, I don't know. I kind of got that feeling too. And I'm sure there's a couple guys that were not feeling well if it's going through the locker room. Surprising that Cooch missed 2 games, though, on the weekend. Fell behind McDavid in that points race, but still really only 3 points behind. But he's got some work to do. He wants that scoring title again.
Yeah. Who they play? They play Pittsburgh tomorrow.
Oh, we're going to go through the whole schedule, man. We're going to go through it. We got a whole nother week of games, which...
Well, no, I was reading Benjamin Pierce's tweet about it to see if he had updated anything on what was up with Hagel, and just the comments were, oh, he don't want to play against Buffalo. When he goes into the arena in Buffalo. Buffalo has one winning season, and they troll like they're the Florida Panthers.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they've been waiting a long time for this. And I give them credit. We set it up last week. Listen, the coach of the year, give it to whoever wins the Atlantic. They'll earn it these last 2 weeks. And they've got one up on us, but they've also got one more game than us.
By the way, Lightning magic number 4 is 4.
Yeah, getting close.
They cannot clinch tomorrow. They can get down to 1 point tomorrow with some losses. Ursunik was just telling everybody here and the thing, they can, after the end of the night, it could go to 1, but they cannot clinch tomorrow.
So maybe on Saturday, we'll be able to clinch. I'm pretty confident we're in. That's why you see the question on the screen right now. Let us know. Quiet in the chat today. Who do you
Yeah,
want?
Serena said she was going to be watching, but I don't see her in here.
I'm really curious what people say to that question. Who is it that you want to play in the first round of the playoffs? And we're going to go through some playoff scenarios too later. But let's start to talk about some of the games. We had 4 games between this Wednesday and last Wednesday. The first one, we took a rare loss versus the Kraken. Still an overtime loss. The Kraken have never beat the Lightning in regulation. But the theme of this week is that the Lightning go down early. So they go down to the Kraken 2-1. Some pretty lazy goals they gave up in that first period. Way too easy. And honestly, a lot of these goals in that first minute are way too easy. Like, you can't let guys just walk in on Vasi like that. Or any goalie. You're going to score goals when you get a free look at the net. Luckily, Sorelli scores one, so the Bolts get within 2-1. But then they go down 3-1. And then it looks like the Bolts are possibly going to come back and win this with goals from Guentzel and Perry. Another theme for this week, Guentzel and Perry. These guys are on fire right now. They're carrying the offense. So the Bolts do tie it, but they go to overtime. And Brandon Montour, I'm right in thinking that Brandon Montour tortured us when he was at the Panthers too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that scores a lot of goals against the Lightning. Had 2, including the overtime game winner. That was an unfortunate little sequence there because Hagel broke his stick. So really, it was, instead of a 3-on-3, it was a 3-on-2. And then you got to give Montour some credit. Did you see that goal that he scored in overtime? He did not look at Vasi at all. That was a complete no look. So he looked like the whole time he was going to pass that puck, and then without even taking a glance at Vasi, shot it right past him. So Vasi wants that back. Vasi should save that goal. You've got to be ready for that. But pretty clever goal, and Montour had 4 points in that game. And he's a defenseman, so you don't want that. But Kraken win in overtime. We still get a point, keep the point streak going, which was broke last night. And then Ottawa comes to town. We find out as I'm heading to the arena with my daughter on Kids Night. It's day, 1:00 start. I think the only 1:00 start this season, unless I missed one. But we find out on the way, I'm like, bad news, Layla. No Kucherov. And Nick Paul was out too with the illness. And immediately, 18 seconds in, the Bolts go down by 1. And then they give up another one. So they're down 2-0 in that first period. And we were joking around on the sky deck at intermission that we might have to start kicking the kids out. we might have to start kicking them out, Schooley. But thankfully, it was the kids on the Lightning that stepped it up. Like, who would have thought, Kucherov's out. So who do we lean ourselves on? Emil Lilleberg into Stu to lead the offense. Lilleberg with the best game of his career with the cage on. 3-point game. The game-winning goal, 2 assists. He had a game. He was the 4th Norwegian player in NHL history to have a 3-point game. And I'm telling you, I'm glad the Lightning had really stuck with him, because even after his injury, where he missed a lot of time, he seems to be taking these baby steps forward to be a real NHL player and showing that he's got some offensive play in him too. I mean, that was,
we talked about it at the beginning of the season. We said he was taking those stupid penalties at the beginning of the season and getting in the box, and we said somewhere the Lightning are going to have to sit him down and be like, stop taking these stupid penalties. And since then, he doesn't take those stupid penalties, and instead he's like turned a whole new gear on and has been a wholly different Lilleberg. Because remember last year it was, who do you rather go with, Perbix or Lilleberg, and and people were like, well, they both suck. Well, this year you see a lot more people going, when's Lilleberg coming back? When's Lilleberg coming back? Like from his injury, he comes back and he's not doing the stupid penalties. He left right where he left off.
Listen, I mean, he met an inspirational fan earlier in the season. We're not going to name names and who that was, but it just seems like since that moment, he's really, really become a true NHL defenseman. And then Destu with a goal and an assist in that game. And then really it was Guentzel with the dagger on the breakaway, because really it was a close game, even though we had the lead 3-2 game.
Lilleberg, number one star of that game.
Yep, with the 3 points. And I got to give credit again. Perry didn't score that goal. Guentzel did, but the beautiful stretch pass from Corey Perry. Both score 4 straight and win the game 4-2. And I'm not joking. We should call her in here. As the first period starting, we're looking at the scoreboard. My daughter's saying, it's not looking good, Dad. And I told her, Bolts are going to win 4-2. Watch.
They say the worst lead to have in hockey is a 2-0 lead.
Well, the Bolts are making that a little bit too much of a habit. We don't always need to give the team 2 goals that we're playing. But pulled that one off and then did it again versus Nashville. Nashville's goals, though, and Cooch was out again in this game, but Nashville's goals were kind of, I don't know. I mean, the first one was...
Let's not go past the return of Steven Stamkos.
Oh, yeah. Stamkos plays for Nashville now. Did he do anything in the game? Did he score points?
He didn't.
Oh. No.
He gave me a puck in warm-ups.
Did he give it to you, or did you steal it from a kid?
Oh, no. Trust me. No, he gave 3 kids them, and then right before he went off the ice, he reached out and grabbed one, and then came over to where I was and pointed to me and threw it at me.
Gave his big boy one.
That's right.
And you tracked him down before or after the game?
It was before, on his way over to the arena, because all visiting teams stay at the Addition here, and a lot of them walk over. So that's where we go in anyway. So he walks past us to go as he's going to the arena. O'Reilly walked past us.
Did you trip him?
Marchessault walked past us.
Did you step over him?
Man, he looks like he's putting that for him hair dye in. His hair was looking extra black right now.
Judging
a lot of
these guys' hair product.
Well, Serena was like, "Look at that." Barry Trotz walked past us. Corey Perry walked past us. The Lightning, because Lightning players live around the corner also. The ones that don't have houses here, they live around the corner, so they all walk through there too. So if you're here early enough, you wouldn't know what that's like. They all walk past you. So when Stammer walked,
so they always mostly stay at the Addition right across the street. So like, I go tomorrow night after the game, I might catch them at that rooftop bar slamming beers.
No, they don't stay after. They fly out as soon as the game's over. The night before, you will.
Gotcha.
But they usually have like 11 o'clock curfew.
Well, Stamkos back. Yada yada. Second time back. Get used to it. He ain't coming back to play for us.
I can't get used to that.
All right. Well, first goal was a Chernak strip hook. Like, I don't know what you call it. Everybody went into the net on that one. And of course, they review it and call it a goal. Whatever.
It was.
Yeah, I guess it does count. It turns out the refs know the rule book, except last night. It's that.
Johansson in net, by the way.
Yeah, that was JoJo game. And JoJo gets the win. But the Bolts do go down 1-0. Again, the theme of just going down early, and we've heard the coach you've heard Cooper start to mention this, like, hey, we gotta stop this. He knows that's not going to work out in the playoffs very well. I mean, you see it so much in the playoffs that the team that scores that first goal wins those games. So they've got to figure that out. But have we heard this before? Guentzel ties it up. Perry scores the game winner. Hagel also scored a goal in this game. And then JoJo does get the win. So a big win versus Nashville. But Nashville's a West Coast team. It was last night that the Bolts really needed to win. Montreal's sitting in third place, now on a 6-game winning streak, maybe getting hot at the right time. Marty St. Louis returns to the arena.
And Vinny LeCavier, they were both here.
That's right. Vinny is, forget what he told me.
Scouter.
No, he framed it up as like something fancier, but I'm like thinking in the back of my head, you're a scout.
Yeah.
When he was telling me, because he was telling me, well, they had me do this, and he's like telling me how he fills out like these templates for players and stuff. By the way, if you don't know, me and Vinny met up on St. Patrick's Day. That was 2 years ago, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a while ago. But this game was stupid. It started off with a bunch of penalties. Somehow, the Lightning end up on the wrong side of a 5-on-3, and Montreal gets their first goal. I thought Vasi should have had this goal. It was an okay shot. It was a 5-on-3, so I'm not going to blame Vasi that much. But if you go look at the replay of this goal, it was 5-hole, or he was at least shooting for the 5-hole. And it hits Vasi's stick and moves his stick and gets deflected in. If your stick hits that puck, you got to save it, Vasi. I know it's a 5-on-3, but I'm sure he would tell you he wants that one back. So, again, the Bolts go down. Every game this week, even though we won 2 of them, we've gone down in the first period. Luckily, guess who comes back and ties it? Jake Guentzel.
Guentzel.
Heard that before? Yeah, Guentzel's just on a tear right now. And then Montreal takes the lead again. I really didn't like this goal. It was Sorelli and Mosier, who are great defensive players, but not on this play. Somehow leaving Cole Caulfield all by himself on the other side. Credit to Slafowski or whoever passed that over to get it through, but Caulfield can't just have that easy of a shot, and Vasi was still on the other side of the net. It was like the only way you're not scoring is if you miss the net, and you can't, with a goal scorer like that, you can't make that mistake. Anyway,
I was listening to Eric Erelson before the game like yesterday, and he was commenting that if you let them play like last time, they're going to outshoot you. They're going to, and something he said, and I've noticed on all these games when they're scoring against Vasi, they do that quick release shot. That is apparently what seems to be Vasi's not seeing now. It used to be, if you shot from the blue line, it went in. Now it seems to be that quick release, and it's totally blinding Vasi, and he's not seeing those shots that are coming after him. And Eric was saying, last night, it was going to be a long night against Montreal if you let that happen, and they let that happen.
It's any goalie, though. You've sat next to me, but if you ever sit by me for a game, I love to point out when a player should have just shot the puck as soon as it got on their stick. Because even if you wait that extra second, I don't care if you're trying to cradle it to get a better, not slap shot, wrist shot off. You give that goalie that extra split second to get in position, to see the puck. You're better off just letting that thing rip as fast as possible. And there's always plenty of net. There's net to shoot at. You're not always going to hit it, but the faster you do it, the better chance you have to go in. And that just goes for any goalie, I believe. And like I said, you'll hear me talking about that a lot if you're watching a game together. But the drama came towards the end of the game. So it's 2-1 most of this game. I thought the Lightning outplayed Montreal most of this game, flipped on the scoreboard. But what happened was This all started with Chernak, who just destroyed Suzuki in a clean hit. And then Suzuki decides to take a penalty. I don't know if he was all rattled from that hit, but decides to, I think he hit Johnny Gord from behind. So Suzuki goes in the box. And then while on the power play, Gooch takes a massive hit face first into the boards. It is called a 5-minute major boarding. It is reviewed, as you can do. That's why they call them 5 minutes, so they can go back and review. They can't review the 2 minutes. So they go back and review the 5-minute major for boarding and decide that it is not a major penalty. Can we review this? Can we review this hit?
Are you bringing it up?
Yeah. Give me a second here. I thought I was sharing my screen already. But let's take a look. Thanks to the wonderful internet here and X. Let's take a look at this. This video is awful, but it's all I could find. So there you go. So the argument is he turns into it. Yeah, it did turn, but he has the right to turn that way. Here's where the video is really crappy. I don't know if the guy's talking or whatever. But, dude, I mean, come on. This is straight into the player's numbers and then pushing his head right into the boards there. How do you justify rolling this back to a 2-minute minor penalty? I mean, do you think I'm wrong? Do you think this should have stayed 5?
Okay. From what we've seen this year, that's a 2-minute penalty all day long. For the definition of the 5-minute major, that should have been a 5-minute major. But what we've seen with the officiating this year, that's 2 minutes all day.
Well, it was 2 minutes yesterday.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, this is towards the end of the game. Does it really matter in this game? I don't know. But they would have had or should have had a 5-on-3. The problem is, and I don't really have a problem with this, but Darren Radish, as he should have, goes and jumps on Evans for making that hit and takes a penalty. So it ends up a wash. It ends up they don't even really get penalized because we get to also. And then again, another Cooper controversy. Well, this is like one of the only Cooper controversies. We've got still 30 seconds maybe of a power play, and he can't help himself. He's
Pull the
gotta pull the goalie.
Pull the goalie.
You're already up. Listen, I have no problem because what else are you going to do when you're losing the game at the end? Play to win. Play to tie the game. But you're already up a man for that 30 seconds. Give them a chance to score a power play goal. We can't do it. We had to pull Vasi. Of all people, Suzuki comes out of the box. And I think he put in 2 empty hitters by the end. And Montreal wins their 6th straight. I thought we played better than them the whole game. Like, give me them in a 7-game series all day. But, man, you got to give their goalie some credit. We had almost 40 shots. And that goalie that they have, I don't know if he's a fluke or what, because he hasn't played too much, but see the numbers he's putting up in his first year in Montreal. He's got more wins than Waugh. He's got more wins than Carey Price. He might be a problem, and he was a problem last night. So, listen, I don't always blame the refs. Most of the time I do, but I'll give Montreal's goalie some credit because he was the first star of that game.
The other thing you got to think of when you're pulling a goalie while you're on the power play, the other team can shoot it and they're not worrying about icing. So, they can shoot it as much as they want while they're on the PK, and you have the empty goal. So it isn't like if it's regular play where it's not a PP, then they shoot it down, they miss, it's an icing, you get it back in the offensive zone as a face-off. Well, here they might as well just shoot as much as they want at that empty net because they're not getting an icing called on them.
This is why John Cooper can't win Coach of the Year. It's a joke, everyone. It's a joke. No, everyone's very uptight lately online. Which it's so funny because I target on our account, I clickbait like Montreal last night, not even intentionally. I was just pissed off at the game. But like Panthers, right? I'm still like, I was making fun of the Panthers because they're sitting all their players, somehow still try to tank and they still win the game. But they're going to be out of it here in the next week. So they're not going to be a problem in the playoffs unless a miracle happens. But
they lose 2 games, they're out.
Yeah. But I think it's funny because these fans don't realize, like, every time like you respond or you retweet with like your comment about how you don't like our post or whatever it is, hundreds, if not thousands of more people see our podcast name. So go ahead. Go ahead and tweet away. I just don't even respond to him anymore because it's been going nonstop. Anyway.
Bolts Breakaway, we had him on a couple weeks ago. He gets trolled all day long from opposing fans, and kudos to him because he will go back and forth with them, and I'm just like, good gosh.
I can't do it anymore.
Can we talk about something that was not Lightning related, but maybe he was an old ex Lightning player, Radko Gudas? How about him asking the Mighty Ducks to clear him so that he could play in that game and take retribution, knowing they were coming after him for the hit he did on Matthews, albeit they should have done it back in that game when no one stood up for Matthews. There was so much said and done and how they left Matthews hanging out to dry that they knew the Leafs were coming after their team. And kudos to him for, he didn't even swing back on that first fight. Never even took a swing at him. Just let him go ahead and take his licks. So kudos to Radko, who is a menace to play against. And does he do a lot of cheap shots? Sure the hell does. But kudos to him to standing up and taking that ass whooping yesterday.
And that was one of my trolls on the Panthers, was I retweeted that and mentioned, like, this is kind of the code in the NHL. Like, this is how you handle your business. A la Brandon Hagel making, that hit last year against Barkov. And now every game he plays against the Panthers gets a headshot. And he said, I'll answer the bell, drop the gloves. And then it's done. But these Panthers fans just started watching. They don't understand. So I had to start to educate them on how it's supposed to be done.
When I saw all those reports that Gudas was like, and by the way, just a day before that game, he was in a walking boot. So for asking the team to clear him, I'm sure he probably signed something saying if something else happened, he wasn't gonna. But asking them to clear him, begging them to clear him so that he could answer that bell. So kudos to him.
Yeah, and just to wrap up last week's games, I was so mad at the end of last night's game. You can tell if you're on our Twitter. And I'm in bed, like, not losing sleep, but just trying to sleep and thinking, and I'm like, why am I so mad about this game? Like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. Anything, like, the next 2 weeks are stupid because we just have to win a couple games and get in the playoffs. But if you think about it, nothing really matters till then. We can get mad that they're giving up these goals early. We can get mad at the refs. We can get mad if they lose a game, but it doesn't matter. Like, what's going to matter is April 19th or whenever the
April
playoff.
18th.
That
April
is-
18th is the first day of the playoffs, so
Which I'm
we
sure
don't know yet.
Well,
We'll either play 18th, 19th, or 20th.
we'll have a 2:00 game on like a Sunday to kick it off. But that's all that's really going to matter is what team shows up.
And Montreal could be our first round playoff match. So, you know, did they see anything last night that they can build on that they're going to need to use? Also, last night you saw Bjorkstrand was benched. Sabi came in. So they did interview Coop about Bjorkstrand in the playoffs, and they say how good he is in the playoffs. So
just a playoff guy, huh?
You know, but Eric Earlson interview yesterday before the show, he was talking about how he still believes this is effects from his leg injury last year. That he's seen the scar on Bjorkstrand's leg injury. It is huge, he said. And that he still thinks this may be some effects from that. But Bjorkstrand does have a whole nother level in the playoffs that we saw when he was in Seattle. And so, you know, are they going to see that? I see someone, Frosty asks, is he for sure gone in the offseason? I would say 99.9% sure he is gone. It's too much money, not enough production out of him. They're going to use that for somebody else.
Yeah.
So I would say
right-handed shot, like they need it on that spot in the power play, and they need someone that's going to score goals. We see, and it's not like he's not scoring at all, but he's getting prime chances on that power play, and he's not scoring. Is it the leg? I don't know.
Well, he's not anymore. Now he's on PP2, and as Chief said yesterday, they're getting 5 seconds a game, a shift on that PP2. That PP1's been staying out there, but there ain't I don't see a scenario where he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if he becomes this playoff hero, but then again, that's going to just drive his price that the Lightning probably won't want to pay. So, and I've been saying it all season, waiting for him to start to heat up. Like, if there's anyone on this team I could see, like, really heating up during a playoff run, it's him. Like, He would be the guy. He'd be like the killer, like you'd see Killer. I mean, there were some playoffs where Killer did not score, but there were some where all of a sudden this guy's a scoring machine. Same thing with Andre Palat. He would go on these streaks in the
Tyler Johnson.
Yeah. So if there's anyone that can do it, I think he can. But I mean, you just keep seeing his ice time just go like this and this and this. What we really need, and they're getting a ton of chances and really good chances, is that third line to score some damn goals.
Yep.
I mean, they're at the right spots. They're doing the right things. Holmberg, a lot of chances the last couple games. Jurgensen, chasing that 100th goal for a month now, has gotten a lot of chances. Yanni's the only one. I think Yanni had a couple chances this week too where he should have scored. But he is the one that is scoring a little bit more, I feel like. But in the playoffs, they got to get these guys on the third and fourth line scoring. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Because think about it. Teams are going to shut down whatever line Nikita Kucherov is on, or try to. And if they can, somebody else has to do the scoring.
Yeah, we've seen that in playoff past. You shut down the Kuch line and point and your first round exit. So you got to get scoring from your other people.
All right, well, let's look at the playoffs. And again, I don't think anyone has answered our question that we've had on the screen for 40 minutes now.
I know
well,
I'm right.
Right. Let's see.
I'm right. Said shouldn't care.
People shouldn't care. Yeah, but we do a podcast, so we're looking for things to talk about. So, but to not have a We Want Florida Toronto fan base moment. I still want to hear like who people really want to see in the playoffs. If they think there's an advantage to playing one team or another.
I want to see Pittsburgh.
Well, you will tomorrow night.
Yeah. I won't be here.
All right, so here it is. If it starts today, Eastern Conference, Buffalo, top seed for the Atlantic, is going to play Boston. Tampa will play Montreal. We matched last night. Remember, we beat Montreal the first 2 games. They beat us the last game. That's the one thing I don't like about last game is does this just give them that extra confidence of, oh, we can beat these guys?
Right.
That would not be cool. And then Carolina, Columbus Blue Jackets, Pittsburgh, and New York Islanders. Here's what I think is really interesting about this year's playoffs. Buffalo hasn't been there forever. Boston, not in there last year. And then this is not the same Marchand. I know they got Pasta, but it's not the same Boston team. It's a bunch of new characters. They're not a bad team, but playoff proven, haven't been there. Well, haven't been there last year. Montreal made it last year, but, it didn't do anything. Still newer playoff players. Carolina can't make it to the finals. That's like they gotta make it to the finals. They gotta win it. In fact, here's a good question for you: if the Lightning don't make it to the Stanley Cup Finals in the East, it's Carolina, right? They got to be the favorites. They're number 1 in the East.
Not Buffalo, I would imagine.
Possibly. They've played good enough, but again, once you get to the playoffs, are these guys ready?
Like,
hockey.
but you know how we talk about, like, these are some good seedings, and you know how we talk about how they should do 1 through 8. When I look at these games, really the only one I think that could be a round 1 sweep is the Islanders-Pittsburgh one.
For who?
I think the Islanders take that all day long.
Yeah, but the Islanders are so
with
hit
a
or miss,
goalie like
too.
Sorokin against Pittsburgh, I think the Islanders win that all day long. Columbus, I think, can give Carolina a run for their money. Montreal can give Tampa a run for their money. And that's going to be a rematch of the 2020 in the bubble Stanley Cup. And then Boston against Buffalo. I think Boston can give Buffalo a hard time too.
So you would want, and I'll pull up the standings here because that's not set. Some of these teams might sneak in, and it's changing daily. You would want Pittsburgh if possible, which at 92, it's
The only way we would get them is if we win, if we go above Buffalo and Carolina's above us.
Yeah, I don't see Pittsburgh happening.
No.
It's most likely. I mean, it's most likely gonna be Montreal.
Yeah.
Unless there's a drastic change. I guess it could be. Listen, Boston's 2 games behind them. Montreal's got a game in hand. So still, that looks like it'll be the matchup. But Bruins could sneak in there. I think that's what we're looking at. And also, these 2 could swap too. That game on Monday in Buffalo is a massive, massive game. That game
4-point swing. 4-point swing. Okay.
We could take what will essentially be the number 2 seed, and then that puts us up against whoever ends up in this number 1 wild card, right?
Right now it would be Boston.
And if not, it's going to be Montreal. So it sure is looking like Montreal or Boston. And both of those teams have played us really well. I mean, the Stadium Series, arguably, we shouldn't have won that game. So it's the playoffs. You got to beat good teams. And we really, I think, need this team to kind of find that extra year when they do reach the playoffs. And it doesn't matter what happens tomorrow. It doesn't matter what happens.
By the way, today was Team Pitcher Day, and I was looking at some of the video earlier while you were talking, and Hagel was skating on the ice playing around. So I'm wondering if it is just sickness. He didn't participate in the practice, but they have him in the video. in any of these videos that I've seen so far is Victor Hedman. So
We have not heard anything about
no,
Victor
and
Hedman. And that went
I've
down a week
talked,
ago.
I've talked with a few people with the team today, and they said it is very tight-lipped. Very tight-lipped.
Do you think he comes back for the playoffs?
I don't know. Me and you guys, speculation. We do a podcast.
Not allowed
Of
to.
course, we're going to talk about it. I know. We're not prying into their life. We both listened to Mike Calta on 102.5 The Bone, and he said he had an inside source. It just wasn't verified, but what was his thing? Nothing to worry about, or I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Is what he said, but he also made the comment that he's played a lot of years with Tampa. So
Yeah, there's not much to read into there, but
no.
hey, I want the cap back, at least in the building. If you can come watch.
And I know Stamkos had to have reached out to him while he was in town. Best friends. They've been best friends since Hedman got drafted. Stammer bought Hetty a Bentley for his wedding. Their kids were friends, so I'm sure Stammer and him have talked.
Okay, other news, and then a little game. Get out of here. Noah Steen. Huge news this week. Noah Steen signed
Entry-level contract.
I guess the deal with this was like they had to sign him before June 1st or they lose his rights.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Same as like Isaac Howard last year.
Yeah, because I was doing my research, see like if this guy's blowing up or anything like that. It appears that he's like playing above what they
yes. Expectations, yes.
Yeah. So as it projected as a bottom 6 guy, penalty kill guy, specialist type of player, but scoring a little bit more than they thought. So maybe middle 6 guy, 21 years old, 6'1", 194 pounds, 7th rounder from 2024. We'll see him at the Crunch next year. See what he can do. And then I keep seeing rumors about our guy we like to talk about, Ratenian. I hope that we don't sign this guy because I can't say his name. It's going to be a name.
What do you mean you hope we don't sign him? We need to sign him.
It's not Ratinen because Ratinen's in Dallas. That's the Moose. This guy's Ratenian. Anyway, we'll call him Doug. He led the Finnish La Liga, and I hear he's next. So he'll hopefully be in Syracuse. Let's see if his game. I mean, listen, if his game.
It was believed that there was calls to JBB on some trades, and that he was part of the trade, and JBB shot that down. Everything. They have high hopes on this kid, and they expect him to be a long-time future Bolt.
Yeah.
So
get him here. See what he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, at some point next season, if he's killing it in Syracuse, we might see him. He's still young. He's 21. But, yeah, he's got to be our most exciting prospect. No disrespect to Sam O'Reilly, right? O'Reilly. Because I hear he's
from Howard.
Yeah, he's killing it too. So I wonder if we'll see him in Syracuse next year too. For Syracuse is looking good, at least better than I was feeling about it at this point last year. Got some guys. And then Torts back in the NHL. Listen, only a couple more teams to play or coach all of them. So what's to Vegas? What do you think of this? Is he gonna make a run at a cup here? Vegas is hanging on for the playoff spot, aren't they?
Yeah, and he won his first game last night. But he was still on the contract with Philly, so Vegas had to reach out to Philly and ask for permission to even talk to them. 10 games left, they fire their coach, and hire him. And, you know, and he's only hired for the season. Like, there is no contract for next year. It's just for this year, and then that's it. That they'll discuss next year during the off season. So it's, hey, and was it a panic button? Was it a, we have to now, Hannafin and Eichel just played, he was an assistant coach for Team USA, so they just played with him in the Olympics. So, and I saw a clip of the podcast that the brothers do, Kachuk brothers do.
Your second favorite podcast.
Yeah, with their dad, and they were talking about how Torts just coaches different, and he makes you want to, and that Four Nations, the coach of the Four Nations would give them a pep talk or would yell at them, and they would go already to leave the locker room, and Torts would go, wait, one more thing, I gotta say something. And he would always put his little spin on the things. And they said Torts is someone who you want to play for. And so I wonder if Hannafin and Eichel had a hand in getting Torts over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because then once they hit that panic button, you see Toronto fires their GM with still, I mean, why would you do it like this during the season and not just wait for your remaining 10 games? Because it ain't like Toronto's going to all of a sudden make a playoff spot. They're out.
Yeah, it's weird move.
But they are like, okay, Vegas hit a panic button. We're going to go ahead and hit the panic button too and go ahead and fire our GM.
Should have hit the panic button a while ago, Toronto. I don't know. I like the Torts move because obviously you're trying to ignite a fire under this team as they go into the playoffs, and I don't know if there's a better coach to do that. Yeah. So we'll see. It goes really well or completely backfires, because if these guys are like, nah, this ain't my guy, then it's going to be a quick exit for Vegas. But hey, maybe now this makes them a player. We talked about it. The West is a weird place right now. I think it's Avalanche or Stars, and maybe the Golden Knights were thinking like, hey, it's a weak ass group of teams here. Let's make our move and see if we can get ourselves in the finals. But I think it's still the Stars or Avalanche. I'm not counting the Wild out either. The Wild are sitting at 94 points, so they got a pretty solid roster, but can't seem to win quite as much as they need to. All right, game time. All right, so I had this one lined up for a guest that we were going to have during the Olympic break, and we had to change up the show for some reason. So it is an Olympic themed game. Listen, it's either right now or we wait 4 years, and this show's probably going to be around 4 years.
Let me see what it's like before maybe we'll wait.
It is blind ranking the best Winter Olympic sports, but I know you're biased, so we're taking hockey out of the equation. 5 spots. I'm kind of combining sports because in the Olympics they have so many different events, so we're kind of just lumping skiing in with skiing. Excuse me. So 5 spots.
All right. So slalom is with skiing.
Yeah. All right. So let's start.
All that.
Let's start with skiing. It's an Olympic event, blind rank 1 through 5. Skiing's 5.
Yeah.
Skiing, down they're on the 2 things and they got the poles. Oh, you hate skiing. Okay. Biathlon. You know what that is?
Biathlon 4. Yes.
Biathlon's where one of my favorite sports. Yes, skiing and shooting. So that's 4. Bobsled / luge / skeleton / whatever they're calling it. I call it
2.
Sledding. 2. And then Figure skating.
Does that include speed skating or no?
Speed skating not included. This is figure skating.
Figure
/
skating 3 then.
3.
Yep.
So you're gonna leave number 1 up to chance.
I'm hoping it's speed skating. That's my favorite sport ever.
Number 1 is snowboarding. I didn't even include ski or skating.
Well, snowboarding's good. I like that too.
All right, so you had 1 snowboarding, 2 bobsled luge, sledding down a hill, 3 figure skating, 4 biathlon, way too low on 4, and then skiing is number 5. You're gonna get some crap from some skiers for that one.
What would you have put it?
Not blindly.
Yeah.
I don't really like any of them. I mean, well, as far as watching, or honestly, I would put the bobsled luge skeleton stuff at 1 because I think it would be so fun if it wasn't so scary.
Yeah.
They're going so fast. Like I feel like you lose control on that. You're like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna fly right off.
My favorite is speed skating. Anton Apollo Ono was like a god to me when I was a kid watching speed skating.
No, you're such a fan.
Let me tell you, Bonnie Blair. When you said Olympic sports, I was like, come on, I know these winter sports. Like, I love the Olympics. I love the Olympics.
There you go. That was the game for you. Anyway, had to get that one in because I don't think we could wait 4 years to do it. All right. I think that's everything. Oh, did you want to look at the schedule here real quick before we jump? Let's do that before the people kind of kick you out of there. I can hear them. Tomorrow night.
By the way, one of the things we found out tonight that you'll see on Sabby's block party tomorrow, the usher that is in charge of where Greg and them stand during the game told yesterday during the player intros where it shows them walking in on the Jumbotron. She said, that player right there, that player. And Greg's like, what about that player? And she's like, he walks out the employee entrance. And Greg's like, what? And he's like, he walks out the employee entrance. And so they ask him today, and he's like, yeah, I work here too. He's like, why not? And then I guess Bjorkstrand also walks out the employee entrance with them because Greg's like, do you clock in and out? Like, you're just, and he said, no, I work here too. It's just easier.
Maybe they want to avoid like the stupid walk-in videos and stuff.
Well, no, that's walking out. Walk in, they're required to walk in that way.
That would drive me crazy. I know some of the players like it just because they like to dress up and stuff. Like Sergachev's famous for it now, I feel like.
Well, it was really cool, the ties that they gave the players for that kids game that had all their kids' pictures on it and everything. That was pretty cool. And then
the commentary from the kids was cool. There was one with Yanni's daughter.
Apparently it was pre-taped. That because someone asked Franzone today if that was pre-taped, and he said, yeah, they've learned in the past that when all of a sudden the kids are graded and then all of a sudden they put the camera on, they go, now, and the kid doesn't do it. He said, so we pre-taped them.
I believe it. All right, tomorrow, Pittsburgh Penguins, 7 o'clock. And then we've got the Boston Bruins. A lot of yellow and black coming to town the rest of this week. Wraps up.
Going there.
Yeah, that wraps up the 7-game home streak or home stand.
Yeah.
And then we've got Buffalo, probably the biggest game of the year, biggest for the regular season. That wasn't played outside. And then Tuesday we go up to Ottawa for a back-to-back. Which game do you think Vassy starts for that one?
Ottawa.
You think Vazzy's not going to play against Buffalo?
Oh, no. Yeah, no. He'll go Buffalo. Sorry.
Yeah. And then we will be back on that spot on the 8th. So we'll be back on Wednesday night for probably our last Wednesday night, unless there's a hockey game, our playoffs game that night. And then we've got Montreal and Boston.
No, we'll have one more Wednesday after that.
We've got a game on the 15th.
That'd be the 16th, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Oh, no, 15th. You're right. Sorry. That's Fan Appreciation Night. By the way, I know we're going to have one more thing, but on April 9th and April 11th, the Lightning are doing watch parties. The 11th is at Midtown, and the one on April 9th is at Yeoman's.
Yeoman's,
And
all
the
right.
Boston game on the 11th is a 12 o'clock game, 12:30 game.
12:30, early game.
Yep.
And then we do have that last game of the season on a Wednesday. So our plan is actually to do a show on the 17th. And we're waiting to confirm some guests. I was doing the math last week, and that show will be our 250th show. Gosh, what are we doing with our lives here?
So, question for you to think of for next week, and maybe we can ask and get poll going until the next show. That game on the 11th and never mind, you don't have the 12th on there. I was like, are those back-to-back games? Those are far enough apart
Sundays.
that Bassy can
No
play
more
both
Sunday.
games.
No more
Yeah.
Sunday games.
Okay, never mind.
Nope, just one more back-to-back left next Monday, Tuesday. So I think we're going to see JoJo get in the Ottawa game, and I think he might get one more in just to get it in because he'll be done for the season. He ain't playing in the playoffs, hopefully. So yeah, I think.
Where would you play him?
Either the 15th or the 11th.
I would do maybe the 9th against Montreal. You probably have a clearer picture who your playoff opponent's going to be, and maybe you don't put Bassy in against if Montreal seems to be the lock. Maybe you don't put Bassy in against them.
The only argument against that is they're going to do JoJo back-to-back, not back-to-back nights, but back-to-back games.
And have a huge 1, 2, 3, 5 days for Bassy. But then he would do the final 3 every other game. That would kind of give him a couple days rest going into the playoffs.
Well, we'll find out soon. 2 weeks left. And then we're on to playoff mode. Don't forget, we will be live after every playoff game. I say we. Thomas Schooley will be live. Me, maybe. And I don't know. I'm hoping for a long playoff run, just like the good old days when we started this show. I'm going to try to bring that karma. I'm actually trying to not go too many of the playoff games, because when I was not going to playoff games during our cup years, we were winning playoff games. So, and I can turn this thing on and do the show, and we're not in some bar or somewhere. Because remember last year we did top shelf after games, and we didn't win any of those freaking games except for one. So that was annoying. Anyway, got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, we will be back next Wednesday night. 4 more games to talk about. If you go to tomorrow night's game, and if you're actually still watching this or listening till the end, I'll be there. So feel free to DM me, and I'll be happy to meet you at intermission up on the party deck, sky deck, whatever deck we're calling it. I'll be there on actually the next 2 games. So hit me up, DM us. Until then, this has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?
That's it.
From the Bay. Headsets on, volume up. This is Bo's country. Let's red light on, mics get hot when the puck drops on. Talking boats, no holding back, from the first face off to the post game.